There are some movies that are just powerful. And I think we can all agree that Toy Story 3 is right at the top of that list. I mean, how many of us cried like babies watching it? So today we're going to do a deep dive and break down exactly why this story about friendship, loss, and saying goodbye hits us so hard every single time. Let's get right into it. And really, that's what this whole story comes down to, isn't it? This one question. It's something every single one of us has to deal with in our lives. And that's exactly what makes this movie so, well, so real. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through this story in 5 parts. We'll start with Andy growing up, dive into the whole Sunnyside situation, talk about the great escape, then that terrifying moment at the dump, and finally, we'll get to that goodbye. First up, the moment that kicks this whole thing off. So, Act 1, Andy grows up. And wow, is this a jolt. We see Andy, the kid we've watched for 2 movies, and he's suddenly 17. He's packing for college. The posters are coming down. It's the end of an era, for real. And right away, the movie just hits you with this gut punch of a dilemma. Andy hasn't really played with his toys in years, but you can see he just can't bring himself to get rid of them. The bond is still there. So he comes up with what seems like a perfect plan. Woody goes to college with him, and the rest of the gang, his family, gets stored safely up in the attic. But of course, that's not what happens. One simple mistake, that's all it takes. Andy's mom sees the bag, thinks it's trash, and just like that, the plan is out the window. The toys think they've been thrown away, and in a total panic, they end up in a donation box headed for a daycare called Sunnyside. Which brings us to our second act, the Sunnyside deception. And look, at first glance, this place seems like a dream come true. I mean, a never-ending supply of kids to play with them? Forever? For a toy, that's basically heaven. They are legitimately thrilled. And who's there to greet them? This guy, Lotso Hugging Bear, or Lotso. He's the leader, he gives them the grand tour, and he seems perfect. He's soft, he's friendly, he smells like strawberries for crying out loud. He sells them on this idea of a perfect toy utopia. Yeah, about that paradise, the dream turns into a nightmare like instantly. As you can see, the promise and the reality are 2 very different things. This paradise is a prison. The playtime is just getting mauled by toddlers in the caterpillar room, and that friendly, welcoming leader, turns out he's running the place like a ruthless dictator. So what makes a strawberry-scented bear so evil? Well, his backstory is actually pretty heartbreaking. He was loved deeply by a little girl named Daisy, but he got lost. And when he finally made his way back home, she'd replaced him. And that betrayal, that feeling of being thrown away, just twisted him into what he is. His philosophy became, if I can't be happy, no one can. Okay, Section 3, Rescue and Escape. Now, while all this is going down, Woody, he's actually safe. He managed to escape and found an amazing new home with a wonderful little girl, Bonnie. But Woody is Woody. He's a loyal friend. The second he finds out what's really happening at Sunnyside, he doesn't hesitate. He's got to go back and save his friends. And this is where we get this incredible escape plan. Seriously, it's like a Prison Break movie, but with toys. Woody isn't just a cowboy doll, he's a brilliant leader. He sneaks back into the fortress, he gets Buzz back on their side, and the whole gang works together to pull off this amazing, high-stakes escape. And now for Section 4. The landfill. This is where things get intense. The escape plan was genius, but it all comes apart at the very end, and they find themselves in the one place no toy ever wants to go, the dump. They are so close, you can taste the freedom. And then, Lotso corners them. A huge confrontation happens, everything descends into chaos, and our heroes get tossed into a garbage truck. And just like that, they're all trapped in a garbage truck, headed for the landfill. There's literally no going back now. I'm not kidding. This next scene, it is one of the most terrifying, heart-stopping moments in any movie, period. They're on a conveyor belt, being dragged toward this massive, roaring furnace, and you genuinely believe this is it. This is the end for them. And then comes the moment that just breaks everyone. There's no escape. They know it. So they stop struggling. They look at each other, and they just hold hands. They decide to face the end together, as a family. It's devastating. But then, just when all hope is lost, you hear that sound, the claw.
The little green aliens, who've been a running gag for the whole series, become the ultimate heroes. They're controlling a giant crane, and they swoop down and save everyone at the last possible second. It's perfect.
All right, Section 5, the goodbye. After surviving certain death, the toys manage to get back to Andy's house. But it's this incredibly bittersweet moment because they know they've made it back just in time to say goodbye for good.
And this is where Woody shows us why he's the heart of this whole thing. He has this incredibly painful but selfless realization. Their time with Andy is over. But he saw how Bonnie plays. He knows she could give his family a new life. So he makes a choice that's heartbreaking for him, but beautiful for everyone else.
And the way it unfolds is just masterful. Woody leaves a little note that leads Andy to Bonnie's house, and what follows is the most perfect goodbye you could imagine. Andy doesn't just drop off a box, no. He takes them out one by one. He tells Bonnie their names, their stories. He's literally passing his childhood on to someone he knows will love it. And then, as Andy drives off to college to start his new life, Woody is watching from the porch. And he just says it. That simple, perfect, soul-crushing line. So long, partner. It's the end of an era. Just gets you every time. So when you boil it all down, Toy Story 3 isn't really a movie about talking toys. It's about us. It's about how growing up is painful, but it's something we all have to do. It's about how letting go of something you love can be the most beautiful thing you can do. And it's about how those childhood memories, they never really leave us. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? The movie is all about Andy finally letting go of these physical pieces of his childhood. And it really makes you stop and ask yourself, what are the memories, what are the things that are hardest for you to let go of?